My name is Dallin Elmo, and I'm an artist. My mom told me that as soon as I could pick up a crayon, I was creating. I've always loved being creative, and it seems it was what I was made to do. And though it came naturally to me, I never really felt particularly passionate about drawing or painting. At some point, I remember asking myself, what am I passionate about? I knew that if I didn't have passion to motivate me, I wouldn't make it as an artist. So instead, I imagined my ideal career, something that made me excited to pursue. That dream was to be in a collective of artists.
Yes,
Curious.
and so well, he like sat next to me one day in art history class, and then we started talking and hanging out, and then during our break, we were like going to get a snack or something, and he was telling me about like his dream, like what his dream in life is.
Because that's what I do when I meet people.
Yeah, I was
Let me
like,
tell you my dream.
yeah, I was like, so what do you like to do for fun? And he's like, well, I can tell you about what I want to do with my life.
My name is Ellie Bird. I am an art teacher and illustrator living in southern Orange County. And the reason I joined Pando was because Dallin told me that I should, and I said, okay. But the longer I've been a part of Pando and experienced the community that Pando has become, I'd say it is the community that kind of keeps me going with this Pando thing. Just getting to know the other artists who are part of this collective has been such a privilege and a pleasure. Getting to hear their stories, getting to see how their personal stories kind of naturally reveal themselves in their artwork. It's just a cool community. And then getting to know people who come to our events who are also part of the Pando community, even if they're not one of the featured artists, and getting to know them and their stories, it's pretty sick, kind of dope, not gonna lie. So yeah, I'd say the community aspect is the biggest blessing that has come out of joining Pando, for sure.
This idea of a collective was one of the first real clues I had on my path to finding my passion. When I was an RA in college, I realized just how much I cared about community, about creating a sense of belonging. And along with that, I realized my desire to make a meaningful impact on people. Art has made a profound impact on my life many times, so I began to ask, how could I make a meaningful impact through art? After college, I moved to Washington to isolate myself a bit and really pin down my passion in a more concrete way. I ended up making these short videos, mostly for myself, but I wanted to practice being vulnerable and honest with myself, as well as grow a tougher skin to put them out there in the world. I did end up showing my face and posting the videos, completely uncut, imperfect, and very cringy. But I realized the more authentic I was, the more vulnerable I could be, the better chances I had to make an impact. And I had 3 friends reach out to me because of these videos. Friends who eventually joined me in my pursuit of a collective.
Fruits like filling up with water, and I was like, why am I doing? We can stop being in the water. So earlier this year, I started having conversations on the phone with Dallin. He was in Washington and I was here in Utah doing school. And we started just talking about just like our lives. And then it started to kind of revolve around our art and kind of what we were doing and a lot about Dallin's vision to start like a collective. We were having these conversations and connecting about all of these things that we wanted to put into some type of well, some type of real thing. And it was interesting bringing it from these thoughts, these ideas that resonated with a lot of people, and trying to turn that into something real. I mean, even I remember trying to pick the name for what we'd call the art collective. I remember multiple meetings of us just trying to come up with a name and trying to figure out like what we wanted it to represent, just because the ideas were so huge, and it was hard to kind of bring it down and to narrow it. We ended up coming up with the name of Pando, and a few other things we were able to bring to reality, and it was exciting, and it was something that I feel like it's shared feeling that it's still in progress, and we're still trying to figure it out, and still trying to bring a lot of these thoughts and ideas and feelings down into the world. But yeah, that's kind of where I came in, and where we started.
On my return to California, I finally had the opportunity to gather artists who were both creatively talented and who genuinely cared about people. And the real beginning of the Pando Art Collective was when we finally got the opportunity to put on a public art show together.
Catch me in the next art show.
The first Pando event was everything that I had hoped for and more, so we quickly decided to do another up in LA. Unfortunately, this one was a lot more difficult for a few different reasons, but mostly just because I have a bad habit of spreading myself too thin. This time around, I was commuting to and from LA. I became disorganized. I was trying to do too much. The other artists ended up getting really busy at that time, and I just became exhausted. And one day I just started crying. I found myself stuck in LA traffic again, and I just really wondered if it was worth it. At that moment, I had already put so much time, energy, gas, and money into this, and I knew that there was still quite a ways to go. I was tired, and I just wanted nothing more than to be done. Sitting there in LA traffic, I realized it was worth it. And that kind of blew my mind. That was also the moment when it really sunk in that Pando is my passion. Because despite all the stress and challenges I came across, I kept going. I just believe in Pando so much. I believe in the amazing artists that I get to work with. I believe that people need to connect with themselves and others now more than ever. Pando is passionate about authentic human connection, about using our gifts and talents to essentially love people. And though we aren't all artists, writers, animators, ceramicists, or game developers, we're all passionate about something, and we believe that when you follow your passion, you fulfill a role that somebody else needs you to fill. We're still very much figuring out this whole Pando thing, but thankfully we have a whole lot of support, and most importantly, passion.
Bye.